Hi everyone, Janie here with some more Christmas card inspiration for you, and today's theme is plaid. So I'll be using Recollections Christmas plaids that I got from Michaels, and InLoveArtShop Pine Tree Christmas theme cutting dies, and some embossing folders from my stash. And I'm also using pre-made A2 size card bases, which means that they're 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And you can make your own card bases by cutting a piece of 8 1/2 inch by 11 inch cardstock in half and then folding each of those pieces in half. So the first thing that I'm going to do is cut 3 pieces of the plaid cardstock to 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. And that's going to leave me with extra pieces that I can use for other cards or for die cutting the pieces that I need for this card. Then, as always, I'm cutting out the center using a die so I have that piece to use for something else and no one will ever know that that's missing when I put the next layer on. And I did that with all 3 of the pieces that were 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. And now, talking about the next layer, I'm going to be embossing white cardstock with those 3 embossing folders. Okay, before I go any further, I'm going to glue the first layer to the front of my card base. And you will notice that the paper that I'm using is double-sided, so I have to decide which side I want to use. But I've got all that figured out, and so now I will get those glued on all 3 card bases. And there they are, and now I am ready to glue the embossed panel on top of the plaid layer. Because it's embossed, I'm putting plenty of glue on the back to make sure that it adheres completely. It may not need that much glue, but I'm overly cautious. Once I get this one done, I will be doing the same thing to the other 2. You'll notice that 2 of the embossed panels are 4 inches by 5 1/2 inches, and that's because they are from the UK and their dimensions are different than ours. But that's okay because I like the look that it creates, showing a strip of plaid at the top and at the bottom, or on the sides, instead of all the way around the edges like the other one does. And now it's time to cut out the trees, and I get to decide which trees are going to be for which card. And since it's double-sided paper, I can also decide which side of the paper I want showing for each tree. And you'll notice that I'm using those leftover strips to do the die cutting, and I'm saving the larger pieces for other Christmas cards. You don't have to use double-sided paper to do this. Of course, you can use a variety of single-sided papers of your choice, and they will work just fine. And once I got all of the trees cut out of my double-sided paper, I also cut several more trees out of white cardstock, and I'm going to be gluing them together and then layer the plaid piece on the top. And I'm doing this because I want them to be a little bit thicker for more dimension and sturdiness. I used 3 layers of white cardstock for each tree, and I did that for all of the trees. Next, I stamped Merry Christmas and cut it out with the banner die from the InLoveArtShop Stitch Tags Cutting Die Set that I'm showing here, and I love that it has a variety of banners to stamp tiny sentiments on. And now it's time to finish putting the cards together, and I'm going to give you some Christmas music to listen to while I do that. And here are the finished cards that I made to give you some inspiration. I think plaid is always in style, and so are clean and simple cards. But I'd love to know what you think, so please leave me a comment. And below in the description box, you will find a link to the Pine Tree Christmas theme cutting dies from In Love Arts, as well as a 25% off discount code should you decide to shop there. And there will also be a link to the Recollections Christmas Plaids paper pack. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.